Hello and welcome to part 3 of HTML Basics. I'm Jeff LaBeouf, and in this video we're going to talk about images, links, and paths. So to begin, I've prepared an HTML file in my Web Basics folder, and I've called this HTML file Paths. This file has a standard skeleton. We have the HTML5 doc type, our HTML tag, we have the head and the body. Our title for this page is Images and Links Tutorial, and in the body we have a top level heading, paragraph, and a couple of H2s. If we look at our folder structure, our root folder is Web Basics, and that contains the index.html file, which we will be linking to, and a folder called Pages. Inside there we have our file that's currently open, paths.html. Save this, and let's preview this in Internet Explorer. Here we go. We can see that the title tag, the content inside the title tag shows up in our tab, Images and Links Tutorial, and then the body content shows up in the main part of our browser window. We can see our H1 heading, our paragraph type, and our two H2s. Okay. So I'm going to begin by creating an image. So the element for images is img. Now, as we said earlier, img is an empty tag. It does not surround content. We can't do this. Oops. That does not work. So, if I save this, preview it, we can see now we have our image icon. Simply preview this in Internet Explorer. Refresh. There we go. We can see our image icon. Now, the image tag requires some attributes for it to work properly. The first attribute it requires is src equals file name. So if you remember, the syntax for an attribute is the code, the equal sign, and then within quotes is our value. And for src, the value here would simply be our file name. We actually do not have an image saved in our website folder. So when I do this, we will get a broken link icon. Preview this. Here we go. So now instead of the generic image icon, we see the X. Now this sometimes happens when we upload files or file locations change. It is possible for a link to break. Sometimes we store files or images within other services like Flickr, and we can link to those images on that on those services, and if the path changes in any way, then we'll see that broken link. Now, another problem with images on the web is that if someone is viewing our web page, or somebody is accessing our web page with a text-to-speech reader, like somebody with, as I said before, the example was maybe somebody with visual impairment, or someone who is accessing our website through some kind of mobile device with a text-to-speech reader. In those situations, when that software encounters an image file, there's not much it can do to try to describe the image. Not unless we use HTML to describe the contents of that image some way. So the standard tag, or the standard attribute used for that is ALT. Alt stands for alternate text. So if something is wrong with our image, or a text-to-speech reader encounters an image file, it will read off the description listed here under the alternate text. So the value here should describe our image. Now I haven't downloaded the image, but I already have an image in mind, and it's something that I've created called the Diamondback logo. I'm going to save this. It's pretty good. When I refresh my page, we still get a broken link, but we can see the text, Diamondback logo. And again, if we were employing some text-to-speech readers, they should read this information to the user. Okay, so now that we've configured our tag, our IMG element with 2 attributes, let's go get an image file. This is my website, and I'm going to use a logo that I've created called Diamondback Finish Carpentry. I'm going to download this, save picture as, and we will save this inside the pages folder, and it is diamondback.gif. Okay. Now if I refresh my files menu, I can actually see the image right here show up in my files menu. So let's fix this value. Instead of file name, plug in the actual file name and refresh. There we go. Let's save this. Just check it out in our web browser. There we go. Now that image has some white space all around it. I'm not too concerned about that right now, but I am worried that it's a little big, so I'm going to resize it. So there's a few attributes that are commonly found inside an image tag, and I'm going to review them. So for size information, we can use one called width. Width equals, and in quotes, we plug in a pixel value. Let's try 100. That should make it much smaller. There we go. Or we could make it bigger. There we go. Now instead of width, you could use height. See the change? Now when you only use one of these, either width or height, the size is increased or reduced proportionally. It's set proportionally. What that means is if I change my width to 100 pixels, then the height is automatically scaled to whatever the new height should be. Same goes if I change height. If I just change the height to 200 pixels, then the width will automatically scale to the new proportional width. Now you can change both. So let's do this. Oops. Here we go. Width equals, this should be 450. Let's type in 100. There we go. Now our image is squished. Now I don't necessarily like the way that looks, but that is something that you can do with the height and the width. Oftentimes I will just use one of these because I want my images to scale proportionally. There we go. Let's just remove this altogether. Okay. So another tag that's commonly found inside image tags is the title. These are not tags, these are attributes. So I apologize for that vocabulary slip. So another attribute often found inside the image tag is called title. Now what the title does is it adds a tooltip. Diamondback. There we go. Now we don't see any change there, But if I preview this file, yes, we'll save, in Internet Explorer, if I roll my mouse over the image, get the right one. There we go. Looks like I had two of them up here, and I was looking at the wrong one. So I just need to refresh my page. So now if I hover over my image, the tooltip appears Diamondback, just like I coded it to. So I've actually had people with visual impairments share that they prefer titles to be added to images and links, because sometimes it's easier for them to see the tooltip spring open, especially with very busy images. So it might not be possible to always see the image or the detail in the image, but that title tooltip provides a lot of useful information. So it's something that I always try to add to my websites for accessibility reasons. Even though the standard says you need the alt tag, ALT, I also try to use title whenever I can. And this is of course different than the title tag. So the title tag is up here in the head, and remember, information that goes in the head does not appear in the browser window. This is simply information about your web page. So the title tag is different than the title attribute. Okay.